Why should you bother learning Decker? Why am I making videos about it and teaching it to my 8-year-old? Decker makes it easier than anything I've ever used to make little applications for myself. See, Decker isn't a programming language. It has one, but it also has drawing tools, a text editor, a database, an audio recorder, a slide deck. And when you make something, you can share it online, on the web, or put it on your phone, and all those tools come with it. Because you have that whole tool set, you often don't need much code to make something new. I'll give you 4 examples. The first time I sat down with my daughter to show her Decker, I didn't plan it out. She was interested. She wanted to make tic-tac-toe. But every time I stopped to think, she got bored and distracted because she didn't know how to help. So I started making lesson plans. I make a deck with one step of the lesson on each card. And I added this tutorial contraption that shows the instructions and also copies your work from card to card as you go. Next time we sat down, it was a whole lot better. Then I realized she doesn't know how to type. So I spent one afternoon and I made her a typing game. And then later I took a whole lot more time and made it better. Meanwhile, I put those lesson plan decks online with video walkthroughs so you can learn too, maybe with your own kids. I think they're good videos. But by the time I'm done editing, it's like there's a jump cut on every single word. Then I could do better. So I thought, at least for my introductions, I'd write down what I want to say and rehearse. Now, one way to learn your lines is to print out your whole script, read it out loud, and then mark out one word. Then you read it again, filling in the word from memory, and you do that over and over until the whole thing is marked out. I was going to make a program to do that in Decker, but it didn't take me any code at all. I just set the text color to one of these patterns. Finally, I wanted to practice speaking and saying my lines and record myself with an on-screen timer, and so I made this. That's 4 times in the past few weeks that I've used Decker to help with something in my life. And could I have used something else? Sure. But Decker made it easy. Also, my daughter has a typing program on her school laptop, but I wanted to plant this idea that there's an option to make something for yourself. And when you do, that thing is yours, and you understand it, and you can change it however you want. And I want that for you too. So when my video software couldn't record the Windows timer for some reason, rather than debug it or download some other clock program, I thought, I'll just make one and I'll film it and show you how easy it is. So I gave myself a challenge to make a timer in Decker in 10 minutes. Now, that might have been a tad optimistic, but let me show you how it went.
So it's just not there. I can select Chrome or Decker. I cannot select OBS, and I cannot select this clock. So I want the clock on screen, right? I wanted to be able to have this view where I'm talking to the camera and then have the clock on the screen. And I can't do that because I can't capture that window. So my thought was, can I very quickly make a new implementation of a little timer like this in Decker? Let us set the clock and see if I can do this in 10 minutes. So all I want to do is just have the timer here and the start button. I'm not going to pause it. So I just want a timer to count down. I think it should be pretty easy. So I'm going to just go ahead and start. Usually I start with a file called the toolbox, which has a canvas over here that you can't see, and you can write something to it. But I think I'm actually going to create a field widget. I'm going to place it here. And I'm going to change the font to menu so it's kind of big. And I'll just set the text to 10 minutes. That's a little small, so actually maybe I will use the canvas. The canvas is right here. Let's make it solid. And then we will format it with the hours, to minutes, seconds, and we just do milliseconds. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. We're down to 8 minutes. Okay, so when we hit shift enter, that should run, but it doesn't. Okay, so let's see. Except to tell it where to go. So that's the text, and then 00 is the location. Why isn't it drawing? Okay, so because it's animated. I think there's some script on here that doesn't need to be on here. So let me try that again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's say C size can be like 50 by 30. Yeah, that's about the right size. And we're going to put it in the center here. C size /2. And we have to say center, and it will center it around that point. And then we're going to actually make it much bigger. But actually, this should be, so C font should be menu. There we go. It's still big enough. Okay. And then we're going to set the scale to like 4 or something. We say the L size is 50/30, and then set the scale to 4. And this needs to be divided by the L size. There we go. All right, so there's our clock. And then now let's put this to, let's just say minutes equals 10, seconds equals 0, and milliseconds equals 0. And then I believe we need to format each one of these. So O2I, percent O, so integer, and then O3I for three digits. That's it. All right, so let's just do 2. So even if it's milliseconds, we'll just show it as seconds. Okay, that's that. And we do have a field here. The field is just called F for now. So F, and we're going to have a button, and we're going to call it start button. So let's say start, and then we'll make it a rectangle, and we'll set the font to, it doesn't matter, set the font to, okay, so it's going to be under here. I guess this will double as the reset button. All right, so when we click this button, we want to set f.data to sys now plus 10 minutes would be, so we'll say minutes 10, and then minutes will be 10 times 60 times 1000. And it's just now, it's sys ms is what we mean. Sys dot, and then we run it again, and you'll see that number has gone up. Okay, so we don't care about this number, we just care about the relative distance. I'm going to take this off the start button and put it on the main text of the page. So you can see it down here, descriptive canvas grid. So on every view of the animation, as it ticks, we're going to say all the stuff that we're writing in here. So let's do it like this. I didn't run it yet, so I have to click this. So now we have this is our time in the future. This is 10 minutes in the future, hopefully. And we only have 2 minutes left. So let's try it really fast. So time is going to be, this is f.data. So after we have the data now, minus .ms. There we go. So that's that number of seconds. And then we're going to divide that. So m is going to be t divided by 60 times 1000. S is going to be, we want the floor of this. We want the floor, and this is division. And so here we want the minutes. So we want the time minus the minutes. We want this number. We want minutes. So min is minute is this. So this is 44 seconds here. So minute. And then here we want S to be minute mod, which is this, modulo t. And then after we have that, so that gives us the number of seconds with a decimal point, which is because we're formatting as an integer. And then here we can just say 1000 mod t. And this should be, minute mod t. So I think this is it. Almost. I think we have to divide this by 60. So I think my timer's running off. So we're going to restart it. We'll go for 20 minutes. But I think I can do it much faster. I think we have the math here. Okay, so this is, first of all, this should be an MS. That was my problem. That number is way too big. So what are we doing here? Minute is a giant number. So what we actually want is, we want this divided by 6 to get seconds. Okay. I'm used to typing percent. 169 estimate, right? Is it? It can't be right. So we want about 1,000. So we got to divide the milliseconds. And then here we take the thousands. Here. And so why is it not? So then we have to divide by 10 because this is 3 digits and we want this. Okay. And I think if we put this in the script on the page, right? So we can just say minutes times 10 here. It's 10. We get rid of minutes. And then here, so we'll keep this as a constant, and then the rest of this goes in here. So on every tick, we're going to do this, and I think we will have a clock that is counting down. Oh, okay, but we've got to clear it. So C, clear. I like to put the drawing commands all together, so down here, and that's it. Okay, so this is a little weird. We can fix that by using mono for the font. It won't look quite as nice, but that is good. Oh, well, it's different from this because what we're seeing down here, these are hours, minutes, and seconds, which is fine because I only want a 1 minute clock. I think this is fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this card, copy card. I'll save it. Now I don't want to save it to your toolbox. I'll say new deck, paste card. Okay. And then I'm going to delete all this over here. Delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. And let's put a let's put a field for how many minutes we want it to be. And let's add another button for stop and just line those up and make this one there. And we'll say stop in here, stop button, stop, widgets, font, again, body. Okay. I think I made it a rectangle on the other one. So properties, make it a rectangle. Okay. And we're going to make it a little smaller, make this one a little smaller. And then over here, let's just do it. So I'm going to call it, I'm just say minutes here. Align right. Widgets, show transparent. Widgets properties, turn off the border. Am I doing on time? 4 minutes. Okay. So 16 minutes here so far. And then I'm going to put in a widgets new slider is what I wanted. Double click this, make it compact is fine because you can slide it back and forth, and we'll go between 1 and 60 minutes, and we'll call it minutes, and we will set this to minutes. We'll just put the label right there. Oh, we have it. I can just do that. I can get rid of that field. Kind of like that better. And let's just do it like this. Okay, so line all those up. You can barely see it, but there's like a little line there on the left saying it's lined up. This one's lined up. That can't be right. That does not look right to me. They're lined up at the top, but it doesn't look right to me. So actually, they're not the same height. These are all the same height now. Looks a little weird to me. I'm going to make this one a little smaller. There you go. Now they're all the same height. Okay. We don't have anything that happens when we hit 0. Okay, so what happens when we hit 0? Okay, I'm moving the background right. That's what I want to do. I want to move the widgets. And so I'm going to do one more thing in the, turn off the toolbars here. Move this over. This is part of the widget. Everything else over here, if there's any hidden widgets left, they're all garbage. Yeah, so that's it. And then make this one hidden. Widgets show none. If t greater than -1, then we'll do the text. Otherwise, actually we just say max 0. Ready, except put the word end in here twice. So now it's 0. If we hit start, it starts again. If we hit stop, it doesn't do anything because we just have 1 on click handler. So it also restarts the thing. Stop button on click, do f data equals 6 milliseconds. So that sets it to 0. Stop is 0, start, stop. And then when we do start, we will make it minutes dot value. All right, so here we do 1 minute. Here we go. Stop. See from 79:10. Start. Same. And let's make this, up to 60. I think that's good. I'm going to change this to a bar. I kind of like that better. So then we can just slide it back and forth. Here you go. Minutes done. Dismiss. 20 minutes. There you go. So a 10-minute timer in 20 minutes. And there we go. So how can I record this? I believe I can. So if I go back here, then I can add a window capture, select the window, and I can even shrink that down. Go for 1 minute, start, then I would record. Oh, what happens when it gets to the end? Well, it'll be less than 0, and so it should stop. So, okay, I believe this is done. I'm going to fast forward it. All right, cool.
That's it. Thank you for watching. If you want to say thanks back, I always appreciate it if you hit the like button. Right below that, there are links to all the decks you saw in this video, and there's more on the way, so hope to see you again soon.